It's once again that time of the week when I dig up the bones of the past and talk about an alpha male red pill YouTube influencer. I don't know about you guys, but it is kind of hard for me to believe that it was almost 3 years ago now that like Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, and all those guys blew up. So much has happened since then, it feels like a decade ago. It's a great reminder that you, not me, you are aging at an incredibly fast pace, and there's nothing you can do about it as time starts becoming meaningless and technology rapidly starts taking over your old senile brain. Now, despite feeling like he's the most irrelevant he's ever been, people like Andrew Tate are still clinging to their scraps of fame, and their copycats seem to have kind of followed that same path. If you weren't around for the red pill boom of 2022 and 2021, Andrew Tate essentially popularized this genre of jacked influencers that supposedly would teach you how to escape your boring normal life, how to escape the matrix, how to take the red pill and make millions by drop shipping or human trafficking. And all you have to do is pay for a monthly course. And I think that there's a lot of people in this genre you could talk about at any point in time, but Wes Watson, to me, is really a perfect example of that. However, in the past year or so, it seems Wes has had a bit of a crashing out, as the cool kids say, and he's not really fully come to grips with the state of his irrelevancy, to the point of allegedly beating up a mentally handicapped guy at a gym. So today, we're going to be digging into how Wes got to this point, examine his full story, and maybe have a little fun. I mean, like, why not? We're young, let's just do it.
I hope this video smacks the f*** out of you.
So going into this video, full disclosure, I had a decent knowledge of who Wes was, mostly from watching a lot of videos by Too Lazy to Try, who's made a lot of good videos making fun of him, but I kind of assumed he had just started out as like a generic gym bro and slowly started turning to the red pill stuff once it became popular. But his background is actually a lot more interesting than you would think, because as it turns out, this dude has actually been to prison. He also picked the most annoying possible name when it comes to researching his time in prison. A lot of people hear about our boy Wes going to prison and are understandably curious to see the details, so they Google Wes Watson prison, but unfortunately for these people, the first result that comes up is not Wes Watson, but instead a very, very different looking Wes Watson. Funny side note, this other Wes apparently scammed some elderly people out of like $2.5 million according to these court documents, but this has also led to a lot of misinformation about the Wes Watson that I am talking about, and many people do claim that Wes Watson proper, Wes Watson A, from our universe, is the one who stole those millions of dollars from the elderly, but that's not true, okay? So there's some Turkey Tom fact checking for you all. You may have been misinformed. But the funny part is you could argue that the Wes Watson I'm talking about here has scammed people with his course, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. Now, according to Wes, even from a young age, he was a rather troubled child. In his own words, he dabbled in the devil's lettuce at the young age of 11, and he says that by age 12, he had already started dealing.
Went on a trip with my grandma. My parents gave me $100, and I fucking acted. I'm so shady even at a young age. I acted like I lost the $100, and then I'm like, when I get back, I'm gonna buy a quarter.
Yeah.
So I saved that $100. I lost my money, Grandma. I can't even spend no money my parents gave me. And I come back and I buy a quarter. I made 140 off it. Then I flipped it again, flipped it again, flipped it again.
I mean, this guy basically markets himself as like a young Scarface, you know, essentially markets himself as this super cool, badass drug dealer in middle school and even high school. And unfortunately for him, in his own words, he eventually got sentenced for 10 years for possession of drugs and other crimes after school, obviously. Now, his biggest claim here is that he had ran a level 4 yard, which essentially means he was the ultimate super badass that everyone loved. When he talks about the yard here, he's talking about a prison. So he means he went to a level 4 prison and he was running the yard, a maximum security prison. He says that he was the big boss man of all these super scary baddies in this max security prison, because as we know, the number one way to become an alpha male is to commit crimes by being a societal parasite, get locked up, and then become the boss of the prison. Base, dude. Absolutely super based, super amazing, super awesome.
We have our numbers, we have our team, we got our squad, we're ready to go to war when it kicks off, because those yards kick off a lot. I mean, a level 4 yard, when you walk out the building off the bat, it's metal detectors. You're not going anywhere without passing through a metal detector or getting wanded or anything like that. Other motherfuckers try to debate this shit. I'm talking about my time.
However, obviously with a lot of these alpha male types, people started questioning his claims, especially with how braggadocious he was about it. And so they started going through stuff, and they eventually found Wes's original court documents, and they seemed to reveal that he did not, in fact, get locked up in a level 4, and thereby he was doing much less than running a level 4 yard.
Unless there's some type of paperwork that we don't know. Maybe he did it at Norfolk, Oklahoma. But as far as I know,
it doesn't show. It only shows that he did time in one prison in California, and that was reception center. So this dude did not even do 1 day in a regular general population prison in California, yet he has all these videos like he did. So there goes a full screenshot, and you'll see Wes Watson's name at the top as well, right?
Now, this is extremely significant because for the first few years of his YouTube career, Wes had essentially built his entire brand off of being the super cool, badass dude that ran a prison, right? He was the alpha wolf, the alpha male, the Sigma gooner. I mean, if you look at a lot of his most popular videos, it's all him talking about prison stories and how to survive. But I'm just going to say it. I think after everything I've seen about him, it's most likely not true that he was as much of a badass as he is in prison. I mean, this is like basically just a marketing ploy. We see the court documents. Wes has an entire persona built around seeming like a tough guy, so it wouldn't be shocking to me at all that he lied about how crazy his prison actually was. Because at the end of the day, he is trying to market himself to people. That is the whole goal, to seem like the most appealing, most badass, most Sigma guy of all time. Now, after a while, Wes apparently had seen the opportunity there was in the wide world of offering courses. Obviously, Andrew Tate has Hustlers University. A lot of people like Hamza have had courses in the past about dating and how to get girls, right? Basically, they market these courses as the key to leaving a boring life, the answer to leading an amazing, epic-based Sigma life. How do you get rich? You buy a course. How do you get girls? You buy a course. How do you learn how to do business? You buy a course. That's how these people work. So Wes Watson started a course called Beyond a Million, and he's also got an exercise course called Getting Started with Watson Fit. I'm Wes Watson, founder of Watson Fit, and your guide to becoming the best motherfucker you can become. In the world today, people continue to look for happiness in the same place they lost it, vices. It's a universal rule that by way of pain, one arrives at pleasure. I built this website to share what I've learned on my journey to becoming the best individual I can be in every area. It's my mission to help you succeed and master the areas of life you're aiming to build up. Step 1, we just need to choose to win. Step 2, conquer your inner bitch. And that's just the exercise course on Beyond a Million. He describes himself as an entrepreneur, an author, and a business coach who founded Watson Fit and created a sales funnel leading to 8 figures in monthly revenue. During his 10 years in a California prison, Wes began building an Instagram presence while behind bars. Once he gained freedom, Wes leveraged his online presence in the fitness community into low, mid, and high ticket sales, becoming a millionaire within 18 months of being released. Now, these websites are about as generic as you can get with these alpha male type dudes. Like, these guys aren't even paying for Squarespace. They look like absolute shit. Even by like 2010 standards, these websites just look bad. But obviously, he's trying to mimic the Hustlers University epic grind set style. Today, Wes joins me to share his success story, including a look into the prison-hardened mindset that he applies to his business to earn 5- and 6-figure paydays. You'll also hear about the 5 books that changed Wes's life, the importance of tapping into the correct mental frequency states, and how taking too long to take action can cost you money in the long run. Now, Wes's business strategy here revolves around selling high-priced coaching programs, promising super life-changing results to those who join. And these courses, which can on the high end cost up to $3,000 a month, $3,000 per month, provide participants access to a weekly Zoom call where he delivers them aggressive motivation, where he often just like screams at these people for their financial shortcomings, and he's like, "You're poor, dude, you're poor."
You're shoveling shit in your face. You're jacking off incessantly. You're smoking weed. You're drinking. You're doing everything you shouldn't do. What is the matter with you? What are you doing?
The premise behind his coaching is that by adopting his mindset and following his teachings, one can achieve extraordinary financial success and personal transformation in all aspects of their life.
Why are you a pussy?
However, if you use more than 2 brain cells, it's pretty obvious that Watson's model primarily profits from people who are already financially struggling. Supposedly, some of his clients have apparently gone into debt to afford his guidance, believing that the financial sacrifice is a necessary step towards success. One individual reportedly opened multiple credit cards to finance Watson's program, while another spent 22 grand, which apparently was nearly his entire life savings, after being convinced to quit his job and pursue an online fitness coaching career. All these programs say they're designed to help individuals become financially independent, but in reality, all they do is push people into poverty. Rather than offering tangible skill-based education, all the reviews seem to indicate that Watson's business follows a familiar pattern seen in many high-cost coaching and mentorship schemes. The primary product being sold is not a set of concrete tools for success, but instead, it's access to like an exclusive group chat and proximity to Wes Watson, somebody that these guys perceive as successful. And these structures benefit the coach way more than the participants, as they're encouraged to continuously invest in the program under the assumption that the next lesson, the next call, the next mindset shift will be the key to their breakthrough, when in reality, that's just not going to be the case.
Do about $2 million a month at 85% profit. Yesterday, I alone, I did 90,000.
Okay.
But today, so far, just on the drive down here, I did about 15,000 on the drive back here. Today, we'll do anywhere between 30 and 200 grand. Every day, I do between 30 and 200,000. I have about 40,000 in recurring revenue from all my programs that I get daily. So daily, I get 40,000 regardless. If I don't can do one thing.
Now, I will say that there's a level of personal responsibility here because while Wes is obviously dumb and is obviously selling bullshit, at the same time, like, if you look at this guy and you think this guy is going to be the one key to changing your life, like, you are kind of dumb, and I don't feel that bad for you. I mean, I feel bad for you that you feel like Wes Watson is the key to your success, but also, like, you're really dumb. Like, if you're paying for Wes Watson's course, you are a moron. The idea that the key to success, the one key that's been missing in your entire life, is this one course made by this convicted felon is just not going to be the case. I'm sorry, it's not going to be the case. It's not going to help you.
We have a bunch of overly mothered, underly fathered bitches.
But before I go any further, this video is sponsored by GamerSupps. GamerSupps is the best energy drink in the game. It's packed with everything you need and nothing that you don't. It's got 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 headaches, 0 blood sugar spikes, unlike every other energy drink. And it's only 40 cents per serving. They've got cups with big tits on them if you like that. But the more important thing is that all the flavors taste really good. I personally use GamerSupps a lot. It's my favorite energy drink, and it's pretty cheap. It's pretty inexpensive, and it's better than the others. So like what loss is there? Like, what are you doing with your life right now that's so important that you can't buy GamerSupps, you f***ing loser? They've got a bunch of flavors. My favorite one as of late is Chug Juice, not related to any kind of property at all. Chug Juice, okay, it's its own thing. Chug Juice, if you like chugging juice, then this is the one for you. And it tastes really good. But if you don't like Chug Juice, they've got a lot of other flavors on their site. Basically something for everyone. So go to my link in the description, use code TOM to get 10% off your order of GamerSupps right now. And yeah, without further ado, back to the video. But whatever the case, after hopping on the alpha male red pill wave, Wes Watson would appear a lot on the Fresh and Fit podcast, which is one of the biggest podcasts in that space, hosted by Myron and Walter, where they would talk about masculinity and high-value males and scream at OnlyFans girls, that kind of thing. And Wes appeared there a lot to market himself, to market his course, and try to get people to pay for his advice. But more often than not, even these interactions ended poorly for him. In one instance, he would have a total meltdown at a guy for saying that life isn't all about money and that having a family is equally, if not more fulfilling, and Wes just like freaked out.
So what's the distinction? After you make X amount, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you look at the studies done on this, it does not
I don't
hugely,
fit no studies,
it does not
bro.
hugely improve a person's life.
Are you proud of who the
Bro,
you are?
why
Well,
don't
look
you
at,
even
are
let
you
me
proud?
get-
If you look in the mirror, would you guys say this proud of who the he is? That's a bag of trash, dude. Pull your shirt
Because
off
I've
and
been
tell me you're proud
because
of yourself.
I've been to prison.
Jesus Christ,
Because
look
I've been
at
to
you,
prison?
bro. You got 10-inch arms and tits. Men don't have tits.
No,
you
they
guys.
go to prison where they get
Yeah,
where they get up the ass.
You've never been to prison. Look,
That's
you're
what
talking about shit you
happens.
don't know.
They go to prison where they get.
Now you get your ass
Hold on,
beat
hold
in
on,
front
hold
of
on.
You think
everybody.
that's better?
Guys,
You think that that's better?
Let's let him give his definition of success, and then
Having tits and 10-inch arms is what a
let's-
man is,
let's
you
let him-
guys.
let's let him get
Please
his-
don't listen to that.
Wes, let's let him get his thing out, and then
Tits.
We can have different opinions.
Embarrassing.
And when Wes gets mad at him, he starts telling him to take his shirt off, which is like, I mean, I guess that's alpha in a sense. I guess, like, get naked right now in front of me. Get naked. Why aren't you naked? Get naked. Get naked. I think that this just kind of shows how insecure Wes really is when it comes to literally anything that isn't money. Obviously, money is a great thing. Like, yeah, money should be a goal, but money, at the end of the day, itself is just the number. If you just have a giant bank account and nothing else, you might be a miserable person. Money can make it much easier to be happy if you're not worrying about bills, if you're not worried about a big medical thing and you can pay for that kind of stuff out of pocket, or if you can afford insurance. Like, obviously, money does improve your life, right? But at the same time, that's not everything. And I feel like a lot of my problem with a lot of these alpha male guys is they don't have a very holistic view of the world and how to be happy. And this event really would be one of the first points in time when people realized how crazy Wes was, even if at the time a lot of the red pill guys on the panel did, you know, kind of like what he was saying. Even some of them, like Myron, were like, dude, you're being a little crazy right now. And this leads us to an interaction that he had with an Uber driver who dared to offer some advice. He said, don't let people get to you. For anyone else, this might have been a reasonable response. Don't let people offend you. Don't let people's words bother you all day. Just let it roll off and move on with your life. But for Wes, this was a personal affront. And in his own words, he retaliated by unloading on the Uber driver, attempting to like put this random guy he does not know in his place with the classic move of material superiority, or in less pretentious pretentious terms, I have more money than you, therefore I am better than you. Wes made sure to remind this Uber driver, who happened to be 67 years old, that his life was clearly inferior because he was an Uber driver at 67 years old.
And then the Uber driver's like, you shouldn't let people get to you like that. I said, no, bro. No, bro. How old are you, dog? He said 67. I said, you're an Uber driver at 67. Let's just go over the facts. You just picked me up at my $25 million house. You're dropping me off at my warehouse. Look inside there. I opened the garage. I said, there's Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis in there. That lifted truck right there is $600,000. I was like, you're an Uber driver at 67, bro. Look at your physical condition and look at where you're at. You're an Uber driver. You just picked me up at my $25 million house. Like, you picked me up there. You saw it, bro. Why are you giving me any advice? All you should do is ask me what the I do and how I did it.
Like, I think that this is such a dumb thing to even say. For all you know, this Uber driver could be extremely wealthy and he's just killing time. Some people like driving around. Some people's idea of having fun is driving around all day. I mean, I find driving pretty relaxing. And some people like to meet random people that hop in their car and get to know them a little bit before they, you know, go along their merry way. And let's say hypothetically this guy is 67 years old and has to drive Uber for money. That's not like something to really shit on him for, unless that guy is coming out of the woodworks to be like, oh my God, Wes, you're such a piece of shit. Like, unless he's insulting him off the bat, it's just an old man who's trying to make ends meet. Who knows what his life has been like? Who knows what he's been through? But Wes is just like, this guy's 67. He's driving Uber. He needs to go now. And this video is pretty much a repeat of the Fresh and Fit interaction, but Wes somehow sees this as like an achievement and something he wants to post online. In his mind, success is not just a personal achievement, but instead the validation that it grants him to berate those around him. Wes also does the Andrew Tate thing of calling the people that can't pay for his course retarded, which is a pretty bold strategy, I can't lie, but maybe it convinced at least a few people.
99% of you motherfuckers are in such a laughable position, it makes me sick to think that you actually should speak or know anything, or why the you're even still breathing at this point.
And now Wes was always kind of like a hot-headed guy that would just scream and yell and bitch and cry about nothing. I mean, that was kind of his brand to an extent, you know, being an aggressive, alpha, high testosterone male. But the videos of Wes freaking out over small stuff would really increase around this time, with one of my favorites being when he had like a mental breakdown about a leaf blower being too loud.
There's a good invention for you motherfuckers. Shut! Watch. Here you go. Here you go. Hey! 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 Take that shit the f*** out of here! Hey! Get out of the backyard. I'm trying to do something. This shit's too f***ing loud. It's way too loud. Well, there the f*** you go. 2 minutes of the video wasted.
Like, dude, it's a leaf blower. Chill out, okay? It's just a leaf blower, Wes. You can calm down. And as someone pointed out, it seemed like Wes at this point was self-aware enough to know that he was like intentionally having these breakdowns and they were kind of embarrassing. I mean, he was posting them all the time, but as people pointed out, it kind of seemed like a new sales strategy to double down on insulting whoever's left out there at the bottom of the barrel, basically appealing to the already strong sense of desperation from whoever is left in the red pill community in like 2023, 2024, screaming at people to hustle up money they don't have, to keep paying Wes money as he keeps dropping all of his funds into his bottomless pit of expenses that he calls a lifestyle. That lifestyle, of course, being him like driving luxury cars and renting out a giant mansion and blowing all of his money on stuff like that, right? Because that's how you are happy, right? That's what happiness is. Owning 5 cars that you don't drive. And at this point, people noticed that Wes was becoming increasingly sensitive. Whether or not it was intentional on his end or not, they wanted to see the breakdowns. And so they started trolling him. They started messing with him. With one person in particular asking Wes if they could get a free trial for his course, to which he responded by screaming at them on the phone like a lunatic.
How dumb are you guys? You guys are the biggest pussies, bro. So you look at a life like mine, and you are too scared to spend $3,000 to have a chance at having an opportunity to live like I live. Do you get how stupid that is?
Wes, I'm trying to run up the money. I just need a trial period.
Listen, do you get how stupid that is? Do you understand how stupid you are by even telling someone on my level that you want a trial period? Do you understand what you look like to me? Do you think I would work with someone who wants a trial period when it's knowledge? This is not something you try, you f***ing idiot.
Another troll would call him pretending to be interested in a course before dropping a P. Diddy reference. And this agitated Wes so much that he dropped the big N and the big R in a absolutely furious rage, all right? He had a gamer moment.
I bet, bro. Hey, is Diddy with you?
Cool, yeah. What's up?
Is Diddy with you?
What'd you say?
Is Diddy there with you?
Weirdo. Another one of these weirdos. God, you dumb little you, dude.
It's pretty funny how Wes talks about how above everyone else he is, but now he's getting calls from these low-life trolls about being P. Diddy, and that makes him have a mental breakdown. In a way, he really does seem like a direct reflection of the state that the Tate brothers are in, just somehow even more sad, even though they're literally being investigated for human trafficking. At least they're funny. I mean, at least they say funny things. I can probably name 5 things Andrew Tate has said that are like pretty funny. Like his whole Hulk Hogan rant. You guys know the one about Hulk Hogan? That one was good. Wes Watson has never made me laugh at anything that wasn't just laughing at him. It wouldn't be long before people realized that Wes, despite appearing on Fresh and Fit and doing the whole alpha male thing, was dating an escort this entire time. His girlfriend, Gabby, who just so happens to be one of the most expensive escorts on the planet, is, according to Wes, dating him not because he's just rich. No, it's because he's also famous, respected by other men, and desired by women. Of course, the fact that he spends a fortune maintaining the relationship, paying for her rent, beauty treatments, and lifestyle, has absolutely nothing to do with why she likes him. He's simply taking care of her needs, all of them, like any man would, which conveniently includes things like trips to Sephora all the time, random hair appointments all the time, and a $3,000 check he gives her every month for rent. But don't worry, listen, he makes sure to remind everyone that $3,000 is nothing to him because he pays $95,000 a month for one of his houses.
Do you understand what this is? Do you understand what this is? It's a bunch of beta boys who could never even fathom the life that I've created and that I live. So every part of what I am is a lie. But of course, Gabby's an escort. You're one of the most expensive escorts on the planet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, looking at videos of Gabby, she seems very, I guess the word is chill. She apparently has no desire to work or contribute in any way, which Wes frames as a personal choice rather than a lack of motivation. In his words, she just wants to be a hot wife and sit by the pool all day. An admirable career aspiration, no doubt. While he insists she's not a traditional gold digger, it's hard to ignore that her primary job appears to be tolerating Wes long enough to secure the next financial favor. But it seems like at this point, even her patience was wearing very thin, which, make no mistake, she had a lot of to be with Wes in the first place, as seen in their painfully awkward exchanges about zodiac signs, where she visibly loses all interest in him even existing mid-conversation.
What do you think about zodiac signs? What is it? You don't answer? What's the zodiac signs? What do you think about them?
Nice.
They're nice?
Baby, don't answer, please. Delete it.
Now, in terms of relationships, people also started digging up old interviews where Wes talks about how he's been married twice, both times to single mothers. And in case you're unaware, being married to a single mother in the red pill community is like being married to a Jewish woman in 1930s Germany. It's just kind of a big contradiction. In Wes's words, his first marriage ended in divorce after he discovered that his wife had been unfaithful. And honestly, this is one thing that people actually feel bad for Wes on, because this is a very, it's a shitty thing to go through. He describes the experience as difficult, as he had taken on the role of raising her child and was committed to their future together. The situation became complicated when he caught her with another man in a vehicle that he had apparently bought for her. Unfortunately, his second marriage followed a similar pattern, with Wes once again stepping into a provider role. He reflects on the differences between his two wives, noting that his second wife did not have face tattoos, which he now considers an important distinction. Despite these differences, the relationship also ended, and Wes has since adjusted his approach to relationships.
What was the biggest lesson you learned from your first marriage that you took into your second one?
If she's got face tattoos, it's probably a bust.
But apparently there weren't enough to scare you off in the first place.
Yeah, I think I could save them all. So I always try, and it fucking wears you down. It'll suck all your energy.
What's the biggest difference between your ex-wife versus your current wife now?
Current wife has no face tats.
Another one of his past relationships involved a woman who gained notoriety after an incident on an airplane. In a video that you've actually probably seen before, it's this like woman wearing a full skin-tight bodysuit where she's like, "I'm a celebrity, I'm famous on Instagram." Wes was dating her at the time, and he actually, funnily enough, defended her actions.
I did nothing wrong.
I said shut up.
No, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up and your bitch.
You should film me. I'm Instagram famous, you fucking bum.
Suggesting that people often react negatively to those who stand out. Keep in mind, like, nobody said anything to her. She was just acting insane on a plane with, like, nobody talking to her. During their relationship, she also apparently had his name tattooed on her face within 2 weeks of dating, which, you know, most people would be like, you know, that seems like rushing into things a little bit too much. Seems like maybe a little bit crazy, but Wes didn't see it that way.
So I might get some on the back of my neck right here. My new chick's initials. She's bad, bro. She got my name tatted on her face. She's like a little model chick. But she just, like 2 weeks in, she got my name blasted on her face. She's that chick on the plane. The chick recently who's wearing the bodysuit. And she's like on the plane. She's like,
that's your girl?
Yeah,
the one who said I'm Instagram famous? Yeah.
She bad.
By now, it was starting to become more obvious that the critiques were starting to get to Wes, and he would freak out more and more on camera. Watson's primary coping mechanism when dealing with criticism is to basically just completely dismiss all of his critics as haters who are just jealous of his success. Nobody could ever possibly dislike him for any reason other than jealousy.
Nobody likes you people. You guys are like the byproduct of everybody that nobody likes that got together to attack the good-looking person. This is like what happens. A bunch of ugly, weirdo trolls attacking the good-looking people who kill it. It's weird. That's weird. You guys are weird. Oh my God.
And because of how volatile he was online, people also started directly confronting him in real life. For example, this random guy here says that he once had the chance to fight Wes at the gym. Apparently they got into an argument and he told Wes, let's take this outside. You'd think that would be exactly what Wes was waiting for, but instead of stepping outside, Wes went and reported him, trying to get him kicked out of the gym.
So we had words, and as a man, I challenged him to go outside and settle it, and he refused. I was then called into management, and because I used derogatory comments, and AKA Wes Watson is a snitch, and went to the management and cried about it because he's got all these followers and thinks he's big, high, mighty, and powerful, that then after that, I was told that I was no longer allowed to be at my place of business.
But Wes wasn't just going to take this lying down. No. Wes would also start trying to fight back against the haters. He's fighting back, guys. According to another creator, Wes had sent out a newsletter to all of his little minions to spam the comments of this other guy who was making fun of the way that he did a workout at the gym.
I made a reaction video to Wes doing front shoulder raises yesterday. So I guess this is like the email newsletter that goes out to all his little fans. And he told his little fans to go get my video, basically. Go flood it with comments and troll me. Now, Wes, is that really like the most masculine, alpha, man, tough guy thing you can do? What is this shit, Wes? Like, really, what is this shit? You want to talk? Let's talk. You want to work out together? Let's work out together. There's no beef here.
As time went on, people are kind of like torn between two schools of thought. Either Wes is just trying to bait everyone, grasping at straws of the last little bits of relevancy he has left, or he's actually losing his mind. But whatever the case, what was obvious is that it was becoming more and more easy to mess with him and get some kind of reaction out of him. And if there's one rule on the internet, it's when people are giving you shit and trolling you, you don't respond. Wes did not follow that rule. It became painfully obvious that he couldn't handle any form of criticism, even when it was just people trolling him for a reaction. It got to the point where he actually had his mom step in, threatening to sue people just for making fun of him. And then there's this whole gadooshing thing, which is like a whole other meme with him. Wes kept insisting that people were gadooshing him, and naturally they ran with it right away.
That they all sit there and gadoosh me. Oh my fuck. Oh my God. Imagine this stud, this ringleader of Reddit reviewers who gadoosh me. Oh,
I think he's trying to mock people making fun of him by saying they think they are gadooshing him or something, but like, he is getting gadooshed. He can't stop getting gadooshed. He can't stop himself. His meltdowns had become the peak of his entertainment, and they only got better with time. One of the best moments had to be during one of his inspirational speeches where Instagram's balloon filter randomly activated, and the guy absolutely lost his mind.
when you inspire them, when you give them a workable path that will change these balloons. Damn it. I hate that shit. When you give someone a workable path, but there's Star Island, there's Hibiscus and Palm Island, and then there's San Marco, San Marino, Delito, and Revo Alto. Fuck these fucking balloons. How the fuck do you turn that shit off, and who the fuck design that shit.
Now, in my opinion, if you couldn't already tell, despite Wes actually being somewhat butthurt about a lot of these comments, I think it is pretty obvious that he realized that his freakouts were actually getting views, especially when compared to his normal content. So he began leaning into it a bit more. Like, that balloon video is so absurd, there's no way he would publish that video if he didn't at least kind of know what was going on. Like come on. He's playing into it a little bit. He knows it gets him views. It's this weird duality of being genuinely low IQ, like Wes, but also being kind of aware that by acting more low IQ, you get more views, and then just leaning into it. For reference for all of this, trolling Wes became so popular that his own subreddit essentially just became a trolling subreddit for him, and people there started posting screenshots of them texting him and getting reactions. Now keep in mind, some of these could be fake, but also Wes does not keep his phone number private. He actually encourages people to text him if they want to join his course. I assume this is his business number and not his personal number. I'm obviously not going to show it, but either way, some of these are super duper funny. Here's my program, big dog. Hop on the team. What's your main goal? So basically, I'm addicted to corn. I unload myself all over the place and can't control it. I even hump my dog. It's so bad. Please help me. And Wes responds to a guy saying he humps his dog, saying, what you're experiencing is called lust. You need to level up yourself and quit being a bitch and actually get women. I recommend joining my program now so we can hop on a call. Okay, but quick question. After joining, how long until I have to start tatting up my body from head to toe, buying escorts, get on Instagram and yell at people all day, and then beef with Reddit users? Oh, and then having beef with leaf blowers? And then Wes responds, you are one of those bitch-ass MFs on Reddit. Big dog, you guys fuel me more. You guys give me purpose. You are all pussies. You guys will never be me. Again, this screenshot could be fake, but I mean, it looks like something Wes would say. Like, not quite to the point where it looks like a parody of him. Like, it just looks exactly like something he would say. And he was definitely leaning into the trolling because he knew it was giving him attention. Like, he knew someone would screenshot this, but it is still funny regardless. Like, just the thought of this self-proclaimed millionaire, multi-millionaire, who pays 95 grand a month for his rent and pays his girl 3 grand a month for her rent, who owns all these crazy cars. The idea that this guy's time is worth so little that he spends his time messaging some random dude saying that he comes all over himself and humps his dog is pretty good, okay? It's pretty good. I do enjoy that this is happening with Wes, and I honestly have become a fan. Now, Wes would also go in person to a place where he says someone wanted to meet him to fight him, but they didn't show up. Wes says that made him very sad because he was looking for a BJ. Once again, alpha male behavior, right? Asking dudes for head. Normal, alpha male, base, just like me.
Kind of sucks. I heard some fictional stories online that one of these guys was going to show up here on Saturday at 8 a.m. and nobody's here. I was going to get a BJ before Arm Day, but now I just got to go hit arms. Thought it was going to be baby arm day.
So while all of this was going on, there was really one YouTuber who was covering this all extensively, so I got to give him a lot of credit because I've seen a lot of his videos, I've reacted to them on my stream channel, and that guy is Too Lazy to Try. He would extensively cover every single update with Wes, and ultimately Too Lazy to Try ended up piquing the interest of the biggest commentary channel on YouTube, Moist Critical, who would make a video reacting to one of his videos. This would give Wes more attention than he had gotten in a very long time, and would also send a flood of people over to his Instagram to join in on the trolling and call him Mr. Gadoosh. It lasted for about a month. People had a lot of fun here, and he couldn't help himself but engage with them. He was constantly responding to the haters as he lost more and more money. And as people kept trying to troll him, saying that he was broke, Wes would weirdly also admit, seemingly, that he was starting to go broke. But in his words, it was no big deal because every rich guy has been broke at some point, so he's just like in a normal state of affairs for a rich guy going broke.
Now, when we're talking business or success, a lot of them are like, he's losing it all, or his empire's failing. Do you realize that most super wealthy people have made it to $1 million, lost it, made it to 10 or 20 or 30 million, lost most of it, and then figured out the next way that brings them to 9 figures plus and figured it out? Sometimes it's more than 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 times that they would gain and lose, gain and lose, gain and lose. But every time, they gained more wisdom.
Now, this led to a lot of people speculating whether or not Wes was telling the truth, whether he was actually just baiting people by saying he was broke for more attention. I mean, it would be a convenient time, or whether or not he had been actually bleeding money every single month, but continuing to rent out his 6-figure house and expensive cars, all to satiate his ego and look rich on Instagram. In his own words, having no Lamborghini was worse than being bankrupt.
$0 to me is like literally 600 grand, because I'm done. That's what I'm gonna have to spend this month. I'm gonna have to spend that this month to stay afloat. So if I have 600 grand, I have $0. And I'm
People also started realizing that Wes may have some kind of humiliation fetish and was doing all this to get like a epic coom on. The biggest tip off to this was when Wes uploaded a picture of him and his escort, to which the escort commented a fire emoji, and he replied with, "How much to film tonight? I need content. I can't pull chicks with my little dick," which is, I mean, he said it, not me. He said it. And now we finally arrive at what has gotten Wes his most recent attention. Around a month ago from me making this video, a video was leaked of Wes apparently beating up a disabled guy. It's a pretty brutal video. Like, he goes hard in the paint. He doesn't stop hammering on him. Essentially, what happens in the video is this guy walks up to him. It seems like there's some kind of conflict or confrontation, and Wes beats the out of him. And then when he's on the ground holding his own head with his arms clearly, like, you know, he's surrendered at this point, Wes just keeps wailing on him. They like throw weights at him. He's kicking him in the face. It's an extremely brutal video. Now, a lot of people, when they saw this at first, had a lot of different takes. Some people condemned him and said they hope he rots in jail, because realistically, like, it's not really self-defense past a certain point. Like, if this guy came up wanting to start a fight with Wes, okay, fair enough. But, like, the guy's on the ground and Wes just keeps kicking him in the head. Like, it's pretty brutal. You're basically risking killing him at that point. But there was also a smaller subsection of people who said that this video had to be fake, and it was all a publicity stunt for Wes to get more attention. And to be fair, I don't blame people for thinking that off the bat, but that same day, a video would be released showing police documents proving that the situation was real and giving more context as to what actually happened.
When the victim was asked if he wanted to press charges, the victim stated yes, and he was jumped by multiple people and was not just a 1 versus 1 battle. Okay, so he's pressing charges on Wes Watson. So if you guys want to stay around and let me read this to you, you can. If not, you got your information.
And as more details came out, it became very clear that Wes was completely in the wrong. The guy who owned the gym clearly said that Wes was in the wrong. The police were clearly not exactly on Wes's side. And what's even crazier about it is Wes is like bragging about beating this guy up as if he's like some kind of alpha, some kind of G, some kind of cool guy, when like this guy who is autistic came up to Wes and he challenged him. In fairness, he did challenge him. Once the guy was on the ground, Wes and his friends, I mean, they think they're in The Sopranos. They're like beating the shit out of this guy. There is no reason to keep hitting a person once they're already on the ground. So I don't know if this is Wes's roid rage. I don't know if this is his general low IQ making him do this, but thankfully Wes is being charged with beating up a mentally handicapped guy, which, I mean, I feel bad for the handicapped guy, obviously, but I am glad that Wes got charged. Now, John Bravo here, who's been covering the situation extensively, and like, is this guy literally Johnny Bravo? Like, what, he literally just looks like Johnny Bravo. Why are all these people cartoon characters? Can anybody justify this to me? Why they're all cartoon characters? John Bravo has done a lot of videos extensively covering this and breaking it down, and he did a really good job of showing just how in the wrong Wes truly was.
So after Wes hit him with that belt 2 times, right? That asshole with the dumbbell, his butt buddy, was behind him. And I can't tell if he hit him with it or not, but it lunged him forward, and then he went back to get Wes. But he didn't even make it like a foot or two, and Wes took him down.
Wes Watson seems to be trapped in a never-ending death spiral of doom. Basically, this death spiral is what happens when a content creator starts falling off. They're not getting views anymore. So to them, the only way that they can maintain some small semblance of the views they had before is by making videos where they like respond to the haters to get a slight taste of the ad revenue that they used to get. You can even take a look at his channel today. Literally all of his videos are just him sitting there without a shirt on in that weird-ass pose, giving the most generic advice possible and then screaming about Reddit. It is almost no different than AI generated content. Like, at this point, he could just outsource this to ChatGPT and it would do the same thing. Either way, it seems to me like the way that he handled this whole beating up a disabled guy thing was probably a publicity stunt from his point of view to get the most attention possible on him. And to his credit, it did kind of work, but now it's already been like a week and people have forgotten about him again. And that's most likely the way he'll stay for the indefinite future until he decides to up the ante and create another controversy, because that's all he has, the controversy. He has no real fans. Wes Watson, your time is over. It's time to retire and give way to Bottom G, all right? He's still doing well. He's the only one of you guys that even mattered in the first place. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
This is Tom Dog going cold turkey, boss. I already told you, stop gooning and jerking off. You saw the merch, make a purchase, dog. Got all the thirsty thoughts in a twerkathon. They all trying to slurp to my jerky soft. I had enough, had to bust in the Kirkland sock. Barefoot, raw dogging in my Birkenstocks. Then it's back to the turkey slop, cause the work don't stop.